Hi there, I am Mrs. Urbizu, and this video is intended for students who are brand new to virtual school that would benefit from a little bit of a course overview to get started. First of all, you should have received an auto-generated email with your username and password. If you do not have that information, please reach out to me. I am able to see your username and I can reset your password to a temporary password that you will have to change within a few hours of me issuing that password. All right, the next thing that you're going to want to do is you are going to want to go to the FLVS login page, which is just simply login.flvs.net. And when you go to that page, you will enter that username and password. You will see a yellow and beige screen that says VSA, and you'll click on that. And then from there, you should be able to see your course. Now, today I'm using personal finance as my example course because I tend to have more personal finance students than some of the other courses that I teach. But you may be taking another course with me, and that's okay. The same principles still apply. This is the course home slide, and there's a lot of important information on here that you're going to need. First of all, you'll see under pacing, you have the option of clicking on the 8-week accelerated pace chart or the traditional pace chart. If you are doing this course kind of in a hurry for summer school or some type of credit recovery or for a reason such as that, you may be interested in the 8-week accelerated pace chart in which you can write in the dates of which assignments you should do each week. And then if you're taking this as a full semester course, you would more than likely want the 16-week traditional pace chart. And again, you can write in the dates that you need. Now, the middle section are my Zoom drop-in hours. These are not lesson times. You are not required to come to any of these. They are simply when I am sitting in Zoom in case you need anything, no appointment needed. And when you see the time here, 7:30 to 8, that is PM. In general, the FLVS teachers, myself included, we make time for you between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. That doesn't mean that we're always available during that time spot, but we like to have a variety of office hours if someone happens to be an early riser or prefers to work in the evening and so on and so forth. For me, I primarily teach high school students, so a lot of students need my time in the evenings. So you'll see that I have quite a few late afternoon and evening times available. The third category you'll see is my contact information. Please text me with your first and last name and the course that you're taking so that I have your best contact information. Sometimes the name and number on file is a parent phone number, so it's better if I have your information. This is my St. Johns County email. You also can respond to emails within the FLVS system. I tend to get the St. Johns County emails more quickly. And then please pay attention to this little note. Expect communications returned within 24 hours. So that's texts and emails. Now, typically it's much sooner than that, like within a few hours, but please be aware that the teachers are not on call. Like if you just open Zoom and come in, we're not going to be there. If you call us cold, there's a good chance we're not going to answer because we're already on the phone with somebody else or in a meeting or so on and so forth. So just be aware that we do work primarily schedule based, meaning that you should schedule your DBAs or you should plan to come to Zoom drop-in hours. And those are the easiest ways to reach us. And then grading is usually returned within 48 business hours. So what that means is if you submit an assignment on Tuesday, it should be returned to you by Thursday at the same time. And if you submit an assignment on like Friday afternoon, you might not get the grading back until Tuesday afternoon because it's business hours. All right, at the bottom of the course home slide, you'll see some important links. The first one is how to get to my Zoom classroom. If Zoom prompts you to download their app, you do not need to. There is small font at the bottom that says open in browser instead. So you can open it in any internet browser that you use. And then here's the link again to the 8-week and the 16-week pace chart. Here is the link to schedule a phone call with me, whether it's for a welcome call or a DBA or just if you need extra help. And then this final link is to the welcome video that you're watching now. Now, to get started in the course, you're going to want to go up and look at the top where it says table of contents and then assessments, grade report, and some other options up here. Grade report is your report card. You can click on that to see your current grades, which assignments are still due. It's a very user-friendly format. Assessments is where you go to either take a quiz if the lesson calls for it, or to upload your assignments. And you can also do that in the table of contents. And I'm actually about to click on table of contents here so you can see what's in it. When you click on table of contents, it will open up and you'll see that each of the major units is here. So the first unit is attitudes, education, and income, and then so on and so forth. You have 4 major units. And then when you click on the first unit, it expands. And I want to clarify for you a couple of things. First of all, the lessons that end with 0.00, whether it's 1.00, 2.00, so on and so forth, those are just introductory lessons. There are no assignments attached to those, and you are not required to do the pretest with St. John's Virtual School. The virtual school for the county, we have a little bit of leeway to do what works best for our kids, and we do not require those pretests. Now, when you get to the first lesson, financial attitudes and behaviors, you'll see that it's written twice. And I feel like this can be a little bit confusing. Here's why it's twice. This first one is actually to read through the entire lesson. And on the last page of the lesson, it will tell you whether you have a quiz or it'll provide a link to the worksheet that you have to download. And then when you complete the worksheet, you upload it again. And then the second link takes you to the quiz and or the upload spot for your assignment. So that's why these all show up twice, and that can be a little confusing. If you are taking this course for honors and advanced, you will have to do the second lesson, which is the endowment effect honors, along with the first assignment. But let's go ahead and look at this first lesson so you can see what's in here. And by the way, the first lesson is just a quiz, but let me show you that. All right, when we go into the lesson, you will see that there is a drop-down arrow up here that shows you all of the different slides or all the different pages. And I am just going to go through these super quickly to show you. There's different activities and whatnot on each slide. But then when you get to the last slide, it will tell you, excuse me, what your assessment is. So it will say to complete the financial attitudes and behaviors quiz. And remember, you can either get to that through the table of contents, or you can go to assessments, and either of those options will get you there. Please also keep in mind that any of the quizzes and written assignments can be redone up to 3 times to earn a higher grade. So if you get a 60 on the first quiz and you want to redo it, you have the option to reset it yourself and retake it. You cannot retake unit exams or the final exam though. And yes, all of your quizzes are open notes. The other important thing to know is that at the end of each unit, I'm going to go back up here. At the end of each unit, you will have a required conversation with me called a DBA, stands for discussion-based assessment. They are totally open notes. They count for a small grade, and that really is just a way of you and I checking in. So when it comes time for those at the end of module 1, you will go to the course home slide where it says schedule a call, and you will select a time that works for you, and I will call you at that time, or you can come to the Zoom drop-in hours. All right, one final super important note is what we call academic integrity. That simply means that you are doing your own work. Please, please, please be aware that FLVS has their own investigation department. If kids are copying from each other or from internet sources or just in general, doing things that don't necessarily show the best character, please remember that if you use a source from the internet or from the module, that everything needs to be rewritten in your own words. Very important. All right, those are the basics to get you started. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to me. I look forward to chatting with you soon, and I hope you gain lots and lots of knowledge that is helpful to you in your real adult life through taking this course.